Hello. So today is December 24th and it's a Thursday. The weather today says rain for the next hour, although it's overcast, but I don't see any rain at all. 64 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 18 degrees Celsius. It's a little bit cooler today. Anyway, so I released a video yesterday. It's called what's it called? It's called Everybody Knows It's Christmas. It was actually done as part of the RKC challenge. So Rachel K. Collier, who's a great musician and amazing human being, is super involved with her community. I'm one of her patrons, and every month she organizes a challenge and listening party for her patrons, and we each contribute a song. And this month we decided to make a holiday playlist. So my contribution to the playlist is this song. And because it was our anniversary earlier this month, we actually went to Joshua Tree. We had this little trailer that we rented on Airbnb. It was just amazing, in the middle of nowhere, off the grid, and we decided to shoot some material for a video. And the best thing is, because we didn't have to spend money on flight tickets this year, for obvious reasons, Paula got me this as a gift. This is the DJI Mini 2. I've been wanting a drone for a long time, and I think this is the right one. It's super tiny and light, and it has a 4K camera. This was the first time flying the drone while I was at Joshua Tree, so we took some footage of that. I had Paula dressed up as, I don't know what this sort of outfit is. I think it had a sort of winter Burning Man feel to it. And I'm glad I convinced Paula to be my dancer and model in this video. I think she looked amazing. And then we had the mirror speaker ball, the speaker mirror ball, which was great because it's a Bluetooth speaker that I've mirror ballized. But because this is a real speaker, we could actually have the song playing while we were recording the video. That was super useful. Anyway, so that was the video part. So this was my second track done using the Maschine. This is the Maschine Mk3. I really like it. First of all, I'm really glad this is the Maschine Mk3 and not the Maschine Plus. For me, what's really interesting about the Maschine workflow is having access to plugins and VSTs and software synths. So for that particular track, what did I do? Alright, so this is the setup. I ended up using A to F, so 6 groups. A is going to be the vocals, B for bass, C chords, D for drums, E for melody, and effects, which I think I didn't end up using. No, I did have a few things in there. So let's audition the pad. So I have the vocals here, and actually before we talked about the vocals, let's talk about something, because so the first thing I did is I used Splitter. Splitter is a command line AI tool, and I used it to break down the songs that I took to grab a sample from into vocals and instrumentals. So you just run Splitter separate, name of the source file, name of the output file. It's pretty easy. But then what I did is pull them up into Melodyne, and the reason I did that is because I wanted to sort of repitch the way the sample worked. So this is the raw sample, and what you can do is things like this. So I processed the samples through that first. I brought them into Maschine. So this is what I have in terms of sounds. So I've got a few phrases from Bing Crosby, a few phrases from Nat King Cole.
Christmas, Christmas, why? Everybody knows tonight knows it's Christmas snow.
One thing that I learned that I really liked is using sound effects. So as opposed to basically making a stack of effects on the same thing, do I remember how to do sound effects? So let's select, and then you go to channel, output, and then I went to auxiliary 1, and then I'm sending that to channel 16. So channel 16 is one that has my delay stack. So I'm sending basically the 3 or 4 pads that needed to have that delay processing to the one pad. This way I have just one place where I could control what was going on, and I didn't have to do the same stack. And the other side effect of using this technique is that you obviously save on processing, right? So you just have a single place that does the delay and the reverb and various other things, and you don't have to basically have 16, all the 16 sounds in your group have various amounts of things and having to sort of keep them in track. So that's for the vocal. What do we have next? We have the bass. Have a couple of sounds. So that's my main bass line. Then a little sort of plucky thing. which comes from hybrid keys. What was the bass? The bass was, was that the built-in bass synth, sort of sub bass. Then we have this plucky sound, as I said. And then we have a sort of melodic line here, which I think I ended up moving to the melody after that. And everything else is kind of free. A C for chords. So we have a violin from Spitfire Audio, which actually is a granular whale song, which sounds really good. Sets. Then something built on Massive, which I use for the chord stabs. So what do we have? Vital. And then the last one, which is, I think I'm really using this for melodic line and I didn't reorganize things, so. Like this. What else do we have? That covers the chords. Let's go into the drums. So on my drum kit, so kick, another kick here for the intro, clap, a couple of hi-hats, and obviously you can't make a holiday song without the bells that jingle. And then a shaker. So that's for the drum. After that, we have the melodic line, which is 3 sounds. Something that I just learned about the Maschine that I really like is this idea of grouping pads together. So I think I'm selecting what, so I've got the violin selected. So what do we have? So we have a piano, which is again from Spitfire Audio. We have a violin. And then we have this little Icarus bell thing. And the 3 of them are tied together. So when I play the violin, they were tied together into a single group. So I only have to sort of sequence one of them and the other one follow. What else we have? I think that covers everything. Oh yeah, and then I have the sort of last thing is under the effects tab, I have my little talking thing, which I processed the sound, isotope vinyl, which I use to get that radio-like quality. There we go. So these are the pieces. Then what do we have? Patterns and scenes. So into the patterns and scenes. So this is one place where I really wish the Maschine software did things a little bit smarter. There's something in programming called the dry principle, which is do not repeat yourself. I find way too often with the Maschine software, you end up copying and pasting the same notes and the same information from pattern to pattern when you really shouldn't have to. So that's really something I would love to see starting to appear. First of all, the one thing that drives me crazy is when you have more than one sound onto a group, I want the mute state to be tied with the scene, because that would sort of reduce the number of patterns that you have to use drastically. Like one clear example is if I look at the drum, let's go to my scratchback. Oh, that's a nice little trick that I'm using, is I always have a first scene, which I call scratch pad, which I know I can mess up the order of active pattern and various things without sort of messing up what's happening with my composition in arranger mode, right? Yeah, so that's a perfect example. Drum B, 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are just the same pattern with bits missing, right? I sort of turn the kick off, I turn the, actually let's sort of play it. Why don't we do that? Okay. So this is what I was talking about in terms of wasting patterns. I have 5 patterns when really I only have 1 pattern. I know I could sort of add like little variations, but that's not the point. I'd like to have just my full pattern, which is what this one, okay? Right, this is a full pattern. It has everything in it. There's the kick, there's the blah, 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 right? And really what I want to do for the sort of pattern variation is to be able to mute this, and do things like that. And you can't do that effectively in Maschine without having to copy paste a bunch of patterns, or copy paste the same pattern and then delete things so that you can use them in different scenes. If I mute them, it mutes the sound for all of the scenes, which really, in my opinion, doesn't make any sense at all. So that is the one thing that I really wish was sort of corrected in this software, is the ability to like even have a choice. Say I want to have the mutes at the group level or the mutes at the scene level. Same thing with automation. I really wish automation wasn't tied to the pattern. I want to do scene level automation. I mean, I realize that this is more of a groove box. If I need to have automation that sort of lasts 8 bars over a drum to make a drum riser, I really shouldn't need to sort of copy the same pattern or extend the pattern so it's 16 bar long. It should be a 1 bar pattern. And then in the scene, once I use it 16 times, I'd like to be able to write the automation on top of that. I also would like to have an automation that lets me put keys into it and not just sort of draw things. But anyway, rant's over. So this is what I got. And then sort of the breakdown, I have sort of all the various parts. So, and oh, the one thing I sort of like to do, because I started doing that with the pyramid as well, I actually arrange things in groups linearly. So the first 4 is drum A1 to A4. Then the next row over is my other variation, drum B1 to 4. So I've organized that for each of the group. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed the video, not this one. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this one, but I hope you enjoyed the full music video. I wish all of you happy holidays, joyeux Noël, et merci, à la prochaine. Au revoir.